Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Business Plugs Mixer. Now, this is going to be something different, right? So, my business friend, Geraldine, is doing a live over on LinkedIn. And so I am signing in now. You're going to watch this live and in action as Jerry Lynn and I attempt to do something neither of us have ever done. We are going to do a live audition of the 100 Women link up on LinkedIn. And so I am trying my best. My call ran over, of course, but I am trying my best to jump in because Jerry Lynn is live over on LinkedIn, and I'm
trying
live.
to say, hey, are these women about my best energy?
Can you hear that?
Absolutely, we are. It's in the name. So that's why I'm here, just to make some friends. I like hopping around to different groups and seeing how other women connect and interact, because I truly think it's an individual journey, and a lot of it we don't have discovered yet, as far as like our social behavior when it comes to, being ourselves and authentic. Okay. Also, I'm a musician. Sorry, I play the bass. That's where it all started.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, let me let you folks know that this event is being live streamed by Linda Murray Bullard. She's taping this as part of her show, The Business Plug. And after we finish talking here, we are going to mosey on over to Google Meet and have a collab chat. We're going to talk about how women in the South can team up together and cross-pollinate their audiences on LinkedIn and off of LinkedIn. And even if you are not in the South, you are invited. And I will be sharing that link because we want to have a great conversation with everyone. It's time for us to partner to dominate on LinkedIn. And let's kick things off by learning about a bit of how you got started. So, Monet, my question for you is, how did you get started? I mean, what was that thing that set you on your journey? I know that when I got started, it was weird. I did this really bold thing where I sent a PSA to a local news station here. Well, not news station, radio station. And it was all about how moms could use their job skills to start their own business so that hopefully they would be able to replace that income. Because at the time, there were a lot of kids who were being left on the buses, and it was the news was just crazy here back in the early 90s and the late 90s. So that's my fun way of saying that, you know what, I did something bold and outside the box. It was scary. Once I sent off my little letter, the local station manager called me and said, hey, I would love for you to do a walk-on. So me, not knowing anything really, but just that I had this idea that women could do this, went on a radio station, gave out all kinds of tips and advice. By the time I got home, my voicemail was full, and I was like, okay, so I got to start a business. And I did. So what did you do back in the day when you got started?
Thank you. I love that your big, bold move
was bold.
Centered around your heart. It was centered around your heart and letting your heart lead you to do something that would help others. But for me, I actually got started as an image consulting. That was the first endeavor in this business that has now grown into grief recovery and life transitions. But I had just gotten certified as an image consultant, and we were given the task to go out and start networking. I didn't have any programs in place, no products in place. I just went out networking and decided to just start talking to people about what it was that I, wanted to do. And I ended up meeting someone from the CDC who hired me to do a workshop. So I didn't have anything in place. I had to create it. But, putting ourselves out there, right? Taking the chance. You just never know what can come from it. You never know. And we don't have to have all the answers in that moment. Nope. It'll come together. And it really
created on the fly. Okay, audience, just so you know, I am posting these questions on the event page under comments. So you can go and answer this first question and tell us how you got started. Because we would love to know what you did back in the day to launch. What was that thing, that crazy thing that you did? Okay, thank you. Okay, Sharon, how did you get started?
So, my entrepreneurial journey began with the bold leap of faith after years of navigating the corporate world, because that's all I knew from the time I was, I believe, 19. But I realized that while I was succeeding in that space, my true calling was to empower women and help them realize their potential in business and beyond. So with that, the turning point came when I invested all of my savings into creating Impossible Women's Empowerment Collaborative, which was an initiative that would go on to serve, a lot of women. And the key milestone in my journey with that was seeing my work being featured in different places. I wanted to be able to offer that opportunity. But what was funny was when that started, which was the magazine, I wanted to just have the magazine be something that I used for a retreat that I was hosting for Impossible. And I didn't realize how much it was needed. So when it came time to celebrate the first year anniversary, it was like, how can I level up with this? And I really, it was, I don't ever say that anything that God does in my life is a fluke, because technically even the magazine was only supposed to be one time, but it was really just by chance of seeing, hey, I'm seeing people on New York Times Square, and it's sparingly, and it's happening, I may have seen 4 people in all the time that I've done business, and especially women and women of color. And so it's that kind of symbolized what, by doing New York Times Square, if I could figure that out, it was like that moment that symbolized the global impact that I could aim to have for other, or help other women have as well. So it was a visible reminder that no dream is too big if you have the passion and the courage to just pursue it. So we are getting ready to celebrate our 2nd year, and we will be doing it on New York Times Square again.
Excellent. Okay. Natalie, girl, how did you jump into the world of entrepreneurship?
Oh, well, okay. I was trying to be a rock star in Pennsylvania, and I was making good money. My mom was like, you should go to school. And I was like, you know what? You gave me life. I could do that for you. So I made it on my own terms. I came down to Florida, and I went to school for music, which was my passion. And I never really had a plan to get into entrepreneurship. My mom is a military corporate beast of a woman, and I know nothing other than women being legit. And so I guess I started day one. I had no idea I was even started at times, but I don't think I was ever going to fit into the little boxes I tried to as I proceeded through the path that my mom gave me. And now I'm just at a point where I realize how many women feel like me. And I'm like, well, let's kind of figure it out together, I guess, because this entire time, my entire journey was very filled with a lot of masculine energy, which I really appreciate because I love men and I know what good men are. I know that they're out there, so I don't have to deal with bad ones. It's just now I wonder, now that I know that I'm a woman, what is the space I can explore, and what are we without these other defined roles? And so I'm an entrepreneur, yes, but really I'm really just trying to find a place where I belong.
Okay, all righty. Excellent. Linda, how's it going over there?
Hey, everybody. So we're here on StreamYard. This is being simulcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So,
Right.
yeah. So anybody want to come and tell your backstory during this conversation, go ahead and join us. I've already posted the link for my audience to join you guys over on LinkedIn. And anyone that has a backstory they want to share are welcome to come join me as well. So we're doing good over here. But how I got started, to answer your question, is I lost my corporate job. I lost my 26-year corporate job, and I decided I'm not going to lose those years. And so I repurposed everything I learned in corporate to help small businesses create solid foundations that allow them to grow and sustain their success.
Ooh, all right. Love that. No, Diane is with us, but she won't be speaking today. She's working out in the audience. Okay, so she's going to post her information on the event page. Okay, so you can follow her lead. Okay, thank you. All righty. Okay, so our next question. Thank y'all so much for sharing how you got started. Okay, fine. We've started. Now next, when I got started, I was writing stories for moms, basically, about the businesses they were starting. That was my little thing to jump into there. Like I had all these people who said, "Oh, I want to start a business." And I'm like, okay. So I invited women to come into my home. And we had monthly meetings where we talked, and I wrote their stories to help them, have something that they could share with people who were interested in their products and services. So that's how I first did my thing, and I turned that into a conference. Never did a conference before in my life. Scary, but I did it. It was bold of me. Then I turned what I was doing into a newsletter. It was a print newsletter. Then I turned it into a fax newsletter. Then someone said, "Hey, I would like to receive this newsletter via email." And I'm like, what in the world is email? I had no idea, but I learned. So a friend of mine gave me her web TV. I went to her house. I got online. I discovered the internet, bulletin boards, discussion lists, a couple of websites. And I was like, oh my God, the world has opened up to me. I started having conversations with women all over the world. Then I got my own desktop and I joined more lists. I learned how to set up my website, all kinds of stuff. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just following the lead. We were just doing all kinds of fun things. Back in the day, we were trailblazing it. And that led me to doing a magazine, a women's network, a women's chamber of commerce. Someone challenged me. She said, "You could have your own chamber of commerce." I'm like, no way. It's like, yay. We got online, we researched, we found it on Google. I got the kit, I set it up, and for 7 years, I had my own virtual women's chamber of commerce. I shut that down, and on the same day, I came back as women partner, because my focus was always how women can partner together. It drove me crazy that women were too focused on selling to each other. I needed them to focus on teaming up. So that's led me to what I am today, Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich. I'm all about how women can team up together, co-market, cross-market, piggyback, whatever it is, share each other's audience. Let's just rise to the top together. So that's my way that I changed over the years. Monet, how did you evolve?
So, as I was saying earlier, I started as an image consultant, and I found that, as I was working with women, and I worked primarily with women approaching 40 or after 40 who had, sometimes we kind of lose our style. We're not sure, we don't want to look too young, don't want to look too old. And so we struggle sometimes. So I was helping women, redefine their style as they matured. And I realized that even they were dressing and looking better, they weren't necessarily owning the new look. And so I realized that I wanted to help them with some internal work that they might want to do. And so I got certified as a life coach. And then through the life coaching, I started working with people on their limiting beliefs and, just all the things that might get in our way to prevent us from being our best selves. And then I had some losses in my own life that brought me to the grief recovery method, which is what I share with my clients to help them process loss, because I've gone through divorce. I've had many deaths in my family, unfortunately, friends and family. And so I knew the work that helped me. And so now I share that with my clients. But even now, I'm still evolving, because I see that once we do the work on processing the grief, releasing the pain, sometimes we're not quite sure how to now move forward, because we're different now. When you go through a traumatic or significant loss, you're no longer the same person. And so life looks different. We look different. And so sometimes my clients need help now with this next phase. And so I've gotten into life transition coaching, helping people now, move forward in a new life.
Girl, thank you for sharing. Okay, let's see here. Who are we going to have in here next? That would be Miss Sharon. How have you evolved?
Wow. We need a couple weeks to talk about that, but I'll give you the cliff notes. So coming from corporate, I got the opportunity to actually be in really good spaces. I was an executive admin, and I used to get frustrated because I'm like, I write your presentations, I do all of your billing, I do everything, but yet you make the six figures. And I make you look good doing it. And that was something that really stuck with me. And they would always, because I was willing to learn, they were always willing to teach me whatever I needed to know to help me just understand what they needed from me. And there's a quote that says, you can either live someone else's dream or live your own. And when I heard it, I'm like, that's it. I now have at least the start of what I needed. So my first business was actually wedding planning. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to be home with my kids. But what I didn't know was I would never see their weekend games or anything else, because weddings always happened on the weekends. But I did get to the point where I was doing fantastic. I started getting into the celebrity sector. And I realized that that's just not what I wanted. And it wasn't impactful enough, because I really stressed out with, when someone wanted to cry over, you're having this big day and you're pissed off that the shade of pink is off, so it's like, it just had no substance, no meaning, nothing that just, I lost my luster for it. And in the process, a friend of mine had an event, and she said, hey, can you come? I have this person coming to speak. And so when I got there, I was the only person there. So I got full attention. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to host like a women's empowerment conference. And this woman challenged me, like Geraldine, like you said, you got challenged. And I'm that person that don't give me a challenge, don't give me a dare. There are some dares I won't do. I will still not pick up a snake. I'm just saying. But I've evolved even with that. I now can at least watch a movie with them as long as it's with daylight. I digress. But anyway, when she said, then why don't you do it? I was like, and it was like, I was lost for words, right? Because I'm like, why don't I do it? I can do anything I want. And so I did. And it was more than a notion, planning an event where you're putting butts in seats is definitely different than planning an event where it's for someone else. So producing and planning are two totally different things. The event was still gorgeous. The experience was great, but the stress from it actually put me in the hospital. But it taught me so much, because I felt like, it's like we don't know what we don't know until we do. And that's unfortunately the nature of the beast of entrepreneurship. We have to be willing to do what no one else is willing to do. And I did. I got out there and I learned what I needed to learn. And unfortunately, it was at the expense of my health, but I learned that I had to work on that too. But we fast forward, because we were doing, we're doing the masterminds, we're having a community. I'm learning the types of women that I want in the community. We then go through, like I said, I did the retreat. That was great. Started the magazine. Right at the start of the retreat, the magazine, my husband found out that he had stage 3 lung cancer. And so I was like, okay, now what? So I had to put everything on hold. But the magazine was actually my solace. That was my therapy. And what was really interesting was the environment that I built, the community. It was so amazing to see that when I had to tell the ladies, I'm like, okay, so I'm just taking a break. I'm not going anywhere. They still paid their membership. And they did that because they felt like, here's the thing, the community is still, they can still be a community. I had built something where they trusted me. And that spoke volumes. And I'm like, that's the part that was missing even when I would go to events. So I have now since reopened the community. We have the magazine going full strong. And I mean, like right now, my latest addition to the business is doing, a book collaboration where it's 365 daily word pearls of wisdom. The name may change, but it's going to be a year-long daily guide of motivational and practical insights for entrepreneurs. And here's why. We go through the sheesh, right? We're just going through things. And it happens. That's entrepreneurship. But I remember having this book that said Meditations for Women Who Do Too Much. And that book, I still have it. It's dog-eared to hell, but I can still go and take it, open it. And when I open it, I can and a lot of times I'm like, God, lead me to the page I need, right? I'll go open it and it's just what I needed for that day. But I'm like, okay, what would it be to have women that are tangible, touchable, that I can read their words because they're going through what I'm going through. And so the book was a way that women can give back as well as receive. So those are the types of things that I feel like, the evolution just keeps happening from that standpoint because I'm in alignment with what I want to do now to be able to empower women. So I always say I want to elevate, educate, and empower.
Wow. Okay, girl. Great evolution. Natalie, how have you evolved?
I'm a little nervous because this sounds like one of those questions that I just speak and then everybody's like, yeah, okay.
No, just what did you do? Okay, so when you got started and the next thing that happened, the next thing that you created and so on and so on, the evolution of you, of your business.
Of the business. Okay, of the business. Yes. I'm a rabbit hole lady, I love reflecting and evolving all aspects of my life. So we'll stick with the business. I think that the biggest evolution that I've made is right now I am as strong as when I started. But when I started, there was no reason for me to be strong. It was just a matter of circumstance and evolution. So I went through an entire process of questioning every single piece of what I believed, only to come back to find out that who I was being was great anyway, but now I'm also kind of better because I know why.
Okay, so your first service was what?
Oh, you mean, okay, see? There we go. The process of the business. I working in corporate America. I still work there at a for-profit university. And I went there with a lot of experience under my belt, feeling strong. And then after I attended school there, before I started working there, my self-esteem got jolted and I didn't really know why. Again, because I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I just kind of, long story short, found out everybody thought I was some silly little girl. And I'm like, no, I can do this stuff. I've been doing this stuff. So I started working there instead of reaching out into the industry like I should have with my strength and elevating. I stayed there to make sure that I was good. And in that time, it got a little dark. And I found these women who were
Hey, everybody.
also isolated.
Thanks for
Are
joining
you
us.
still there?
So we're listening in on the audio of the
Okay,
LinkedIn conversation that
the power
Geraldine
line
is
went out.
having for the 100, the
Milton's
Project
getting
100
close.
Women Meetup. And so
Oh,
she's
goodness.
interviewing
But I
different
met
ones,
women
and
who
we
I
can
was
actually
supposed to be
hear it here.
teaching, and
You're welcome to
these
come in,
women
comment
were
if you want the
sad.
link,
These
where you can
women
join
were
me on
not
screen.
thinking that they
Go
had,
ahead
like,
and
a
get in
good
my
future,
inbox,
and I was
and
like,
we'll do
that's
that.
strange,
But
because like
thank
I
you for
got
joining us.
kind of a whiff of that too. So I started like wondering where
We're
was
trying
that
to talk
energy
about the
coming from.
backstories.
I was
Like,
the
how
only
did you
female
start doing
teacher,
what you do?
and I was taking a
You're
lot of
welcome to
emotional
join us.
heat when I'm watching my coworkers get asked like really professional questions, like how do I become better at my craft, da 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 da, and like there was just a really dark time where I decided these women found my advice helpful, and I wanted to give it to them in a group. And so we started the Loud Ladies, and my president is actually in here listening. She started it with me, and through that, I think we healed ourselves by, just sort of pushing the noise to the side and banding together and finding those connections that you're always, talking about, Geraldine, like what you're trying to figure out about the connections. I feel like I probably have a whole case study you'd be really interested in. And so now the Loud Ladies went to, it reached a point where the for-profit put some limits on me. And so I made Women Who Vibe, an LLC that can operate out in Florida and just be a resource hub for the creative women around who might need or be interested in what we find for each other.
Okay, now what exactly would you say is creative? When you say creative, what kind of things are you guys doing?
I would say painting, music, poetry, dancing, things that I feel everybody should be expressing. But when I meet a lot of women who aren't quote unquote like the creatives I'm talking about, like you weren't raised in it, or you weren't like taught, you should have fun with this stuff. I could bring my creative women and we could throw you a little party and you might feel a little better just painting something. Or so we're like sharing our talents with other women who have been working so hard to get to the top of these corporate ladders that, they need some fun time too. And we make it productive and we get to do what we love the most, which is express ourselves through artistic means. And then everybody realizes that they're creative at the end of the day anyway. So it's fun.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Linda, girl, tell me about your evolution. And I know you've done a lot of stuff.
I've evolved into several Lindas in the last 11 years. So I started off my first offering.
What happened? Let's see.
Okay, they're not getting me. Do you not hear me?
Okay.
I can hear Linda perfectly. I can hear you, Linda.
Okay, great. Thank you. So my first evolution was selling business plans and resumes.
Okay. I guess she will reach out when she can.
Geraldine can't hear me.
Being on the other side.
Hey, Geraldine, we can hear Linda fine.
And of course, LinkedIn audio.
Maybe Geraldine can't hear any of us.
Yeah, I know it.
I just sent her a message.
Thank you. Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah, something's going on. She's down south. But my first offering was selling business plans and resumes because that's what I was giving away in corporate. And so I used that and saw that there was a need for education, which I have been training.
No, I can't hear you guys.
Which I have been doing that in training. And so I started teaching, which is my passion, my favorite thing in the world to do. And so there's so much to learn in business that teaching people all the different aspects of business. And then I got approved to be a certified affiliate of the Kauffman Foundation. So I started teaching people using the number one curriculum in the world. Like, if you're familiar with the Kauffman Foundation,
Yes.
then you'll understand that
Okay.
that information is great.
Correct. So just keep talking.
Okay. So this is our
Yeah,
first
tell
time
folks
doing
to
this,
come log
guys.
out and come back on in, okay? Okay, stop. You're in. Stop. Oh, hi, folks.
This is our first time doing this,
Well,
so
I can't see
of
you,
course
but I
it's
can hear you
wonky.
guys because it's still saying that it's spiraling.
Oh,
But of course, I cannot hear you guys.
yeah. So using the Kauffman Foundation's information, um, I'm able to help businesses from idea to implementation up through the first 5 years of their business's life cycle. So in this season, like each year, I try to theme the year with something, one thing that I'm doing, because that's what my coaches teach me. And so this year, I am concentrating
You've
on
got to love.
helping businesses get certified, minority and women-owned businesses, teaching them about government contracts and how they can get grants. Because in this season, that's what's needed. A lot of businesses have started, and a lot of the training out there teaches business owners how to do one and done. So I'm teaching them how to elevate, how to expand. Okay, you've been in business for 2 years. You've been in business for 3 years. You understand the business concept now. So let's talk about what your expansion looks like, and let's build out a 5-year plan. And so in this season, corporations are having me come in and do 4-hour training sessions on getting certified, are doing a 10 to 16 week class using the Kauffman Foundation's fast track, because I'm finding a lot of businesses didn't have business training. And so for those 2 years they've been open, they've actually been just doing what they thought was right? They were throwing things against the wall to see if it works. But what I've learned is principles work regardless of who implements them. And so teaching business owners how to implement principles and practices that work, because the Kauffman Foundation, again, the number one supporter of entrepreneurship in the world, has this great fast track curriculum that I'm able to glean from in order to help businesses to understand exactly how to do the business part of their business. Everybody knows how to sell their widgets. Everybody can sell widgets, but understanding the infrastructure of your business and how solid it needs to be. Everybody, I hear $1 million. I want to get to $1 million. That's a global thing. But the thing about it is, could your business sustain? Could it withstand you getting $1 million, right? And so not having the right infrastructure could fail. A lot of people want to go to Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank. A lot of people want to go there, but go and Google and see how many businesses went under because they went on Shark Tank before they were ready. And so teaching businesses that one lesson all over again, like get your infrastructure sound, and then let me teach you how to put all the bells and whistles under that idea so that you're able to expand and grow. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been iterating all this time into finding what business owners need and putting it where they can get it. Geraldine, you back?
All right. Yes, finally. I am so sorry. You guys can hear me talking about LinkedIn audio. I am so sorry. But you got to love LinkedIn audio. The screen was blank, so I couldn't even see that I wasn't even unmuted. It was crazy. All right. Okay, so next question here. You know what? Now we're going to get into your products and services. If you could, tell us exactly how people can use your products and services, your top 3 or your top 1, being that, I think we're going to run a little bit over time today, but we're going to be okay.
This is our first time doing this. So as technology do, if any of you are aware of technology, it does what it does, right?
And to use LinkedIn
and
to
so
expand their audience. Like if you're giving
we're doing
a
this
summit
for the first
you have
time.
a magazine, a podcast, whatever, to find women who have the audience, who can help you spread the word, and who can also add their business DNA to make your project even better, make your podcast better, your summit, so that it is totally different from everyone else's. So, Monet, what do you do and how can women use it to move the needle on their business?
So I have I offer the grief recovery method, which will help anyone through the process of releasing the pain of grief. And we can grieve over 40 different losses in our lives. We grieve divorce, we grieve death, we grieve career loss or change, we grieve empty nesting. There are so many things that we grieve, and I don't think we automatically go to death when I talk about grief. But there's a lot of grief that we experience, and my grief recovery method helps. It's a 7-week program that I take people through to process that grief and to release the pain. And then I have a coaching program that is a next step for anyone who then wants to move forward, creating a life that they love. And so that's a 12-week program. And we get into the things that I used to do before around limiting beliefs. And we talk about personal responsibility and accountability, self-care, self-awareness, like how did I get here? And now how do I move forward? So the coaching piece is that next piece. And then eventually, not yet, there'll be a retreat that directly follows the coaching program so that we can now take what we've done in the coaching program and come up with our plan for moving forward and really digging into life purpose and just taking it a little bit further, but in a beautiful setting.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Sharon, how can women take what you do and move the needle on their business?
So I actually do have 3. One is the Power Partners Collective. We are going to be launching a live chapter in Atlanta in November. So this chapter marks a key milestone in expanding the Power Partners Collective to bring women entrepreneurs in Atlanta for collaboration and growth. The beautiful part is for the Atlanta chapter itself, and to be here because she's in Orlando too, but she's with all of her family trying to get those that are further down in Florida up to her. But she's going to be the chapter president for the Atlanta chapter. She runs a chamber as well. So for women that are looking to be in front of more than just females, it is actually going to be, I guess you would call it more of a co-ed type of chapter, but you still have all the luxuries of of being part of the female portion of it as well. So the launch is all about fostering powerful partnerships, creating a space where women can network, collaborate on projects, and support each other's businesses. And then the collective is a strategic hub for building lasting business relationships. So that's the first one. I talked about the New York Times Square. We are going there International Women's Day. So one of the most impactful events that I've actually planned, besides weddings, of course. The celebration in New York Times Square, though, it is a global platform where women can actually gather to share their stories, inspire each other, and gain, incredible visibility. So it's a testament to the power and the influence of women in business, giving them an international stage to showcase their entrepreneurial journeys and their breakthroughs. And then lastly was the book that I also talked about, 365 Daily Workbooks of Wisdom. And that, again, is a year-long resource providing, daily business insights, motivational quotes. For anybody that knows me, I am a quotes girl. I spew them more than I probably spew anything else. And also actionable strategies for women entrepreneurs. So this initiative serves as, like I said earlier, it's like a daily touch point to help entrepreneurs stay aligned with their goals, offering a consistent flow of inspiration and guidance. So they're all about basically, it's like combined power of strategy for partnerships, global recognition, and daily motivation.
You are listening to the LinkedIn audio from Project 100 Women. This is a first time simulcasting on several
Natalie,
sites.
how can
We're
women
on
use
YouTube,
your top
LinkedIn, and
products and
Facebook.
services
And if
to
you
move
want
the
to talk
needle
about your
on their
backstory,
business?
come on and join me. Let me know
Well,
in the comments. I'll
just
send you the link
following us
and you can get on air and we'll
wherever
talk
our
about you and your
community is, whether
backstory
it's
and get people
Facebook
to know,
or
like, and trust the
LinkedIn.
things you're
We
doing to
try
make the
and
world
have a
great.
feed on
Thanks for joining
every
us.
platform so that we can be a part of putting authentic media into your feeds so that we can start changing the narrative on what a woman is as we do our creative things. So just following and, interacting, engaging, I think is the biggest thing that would help everybody, because I do feel that as women and coming from a more masculine environment, we don't speak up a lot. So these are easy places to do it. You could literally just tell our community what you would like to see, and we can practice doing that and meeting the needs of clients. Like, I just love it at its base level. However, if that isn't enough for you, we have in Orlando formed sort of a co-op, which I'm still sort of reading about as far as other countries having maybe a little bit more support with co-ops. It seems to be what we're operating like, but you can hire us as a community to run your event. Maybe you are putting on a grief workshop. Let's say Monet wants to do a grief workshop, but she doesn't want to think about the projector or the audio or the setup. We will come in not only with equipment, but with the best energy.
So you hear people having internal conversations.
And so we have been providing services like that. Just bring in the party with our creative group of women.
Bring the party. Okay.
Yeah, we've had some transactions where now we're getting calls and we're like, hey, I need a DJ here. I need this. We've become sort of like a database. So I'm at a stage right now where I really need help, because I have the idea and the creative people and I have the strength and the energy, but then I get to this part of organizing the database. And getting through the website, and I'm collecting more and more women as I go and trying to utilize them as well. The whole journey is really exciting, but it's not very stereotypical, I'm finding out, and maybe that's the best for me. Just discovering what we can create in this economy that women might enjoy more. Like, we could be the guinea pigs. We're just trying to have fun and play some music, get some movies going. And that is our services. We're your hype girls. Whatever you need us for, we got you, because we get it now.
Okay, excellent. Linda, how can your business move the needle on another person's business? People don't know that they need us until they're educated.
Absolutely. So I am for those people who are frustrated and feel like they're stuck. And how I move the needle is I show them, but first of all, the 360 business assessment. We look through their business model to make sure their business model is set up. So their business are set up so that they can be successful. And in doing so, I use the 360 business assessment. In addition to that, I am going with corporations are hiring me to come get certified or certified now what, which helps people to understand how to use those certifications we've all applied for, but we have never used. And so we walk through a 4-hour session of me teaching them exactly how to use those services so that they can get the most out of those certifications we all have that we've sat on, and now it's time to use them. And then finally, I use the Business Plugs Mixer. This show right here, I'm on StreamYard, which puts me in 3 different places. But I allow people to come on to StreamYard so they can get seen and get heard on the Business Plugs Mixer. And so I like introducing business people having business conversations with business people. And so that's what we do is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I have different businesses come on and we highlight the services and products that they have. In a lot of cases, it's things they're doing that no one knows they're doing. So I am trying to help businesses move the needle by not becoming the biggest unknown thing on LinkedIn.
Terry Lynn, you there?
It seems like she's having some type of technical problem. Welcome up to the stage there, Chris. Tell us about your thing that moves the needle.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
Doing great, Chris.
Well, I am so humble and excited for this great and amazing opportunity with Jerry Lynn and Diane, and I've been a big supporter of what they are doing here. And to each and every single one of you, I'm already a big fan in and of itself. And Natalie, me and you definitely need to talk because I see this in the mix. A block party for humanity. And me and you definitely need to talk because not only are you a rock star, but you want to rock it out of the park. I love what everyone has been sharing today, ladies. And Keith was just here, so hopefully he'll be back here in just a second. Because when Jerry Lynn and Diane came to me and say, hey, can bring you, Mandy, together to be a part of what we're building. And I'm like, hey, count me all in because I'm willing to say yes. Because if you say yes to life and you say yes to opportunity, those opportunities would come to you when you do it through the power of the ask. And the reason why I say that, Natalie, because there's a great rock star in her own right, and you may know her, is Amanda Palmer. And I definitely will send you a article that I did that had her video in it in the power of ask. Do you know who Amanda Palmer is?
I'm trying. I don't believe so. I can't place her.
Well, we'll talk offline because you're in Orlando. I'm in Lakeland. We'll definitely need to talk anyways. I'll see a collaboration in the works in and of itself.
I love that.
Yeah. But Linda, to your point, what you asked me just a second ago is what is literally my story and why am I here? Because I see for the need for humanity to connect, collaborate, and build community, one conversation at a time, one opportunity at a time, and even in that one moment at a time, when we just allow ourselves just to show up in and of itself. And I truly believe, ladies, that we are destined to do that right here, right now, because collaboration can be fostering in a place and space when you, again, make it about them and not about you, and you put it on their timetable, not on yours, through intention, through listening, through flow, through change. And change is that constant, ladies and gentlemen. It's already there. So when you embrace that change and you recognize it, it's just like right now, me and Natalie have yet another change to go through, which, again, a hurricane is coming. And I'm not going to be rocking like a hurricane. I'm not going to be like scorpions. I'm telling you, I'm going to be saying, no, Milton, you need to go somewhere else. But you know what? Also, I recognize too as well, ladies, that if we give that to them too as well through a place of alignment and agreement, maybe there's not a certain way that we do things. There's multiple ways that we can do things. And that is why I'm here and supporting Jerry Lynn and supporting each and every single one of you, because again, the power of the many can start from the power of one, because one can turn into many when we allow that to occur and we're willing to show up to that. And that is why I'm here, because again, if we can bring that humanity not only into business, but beyond the business, it's going to filter into our communities. It's going to filter out into what we do, because I truly believe, ladies, the better question to ask is not what you do, is who are you? And once you get to know who you are, people kind of forget what you do, but they will remember you for who you are. Again, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you make them feel.
Amen.
So, ladies, that is why I'm here, and I'm so humbled and honored by this very opportunity.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Ladies, I only have one more question, and then we're going to move over to the Google Meet, okay? My last question for the day here is, what are you working on right now that you could use some collaborative marketing muscle on? Somebody's who can help you get that project over the finish line, okay? Alrighty. Monet, what are you working on?
So one of my goals for this year is launching my YouTube channel. And so I'm looking for, people that I can have conversation with around, what they do and how they might be able to help people out there who need some inspiration or, ways to move forward, and then also sharing their own stories, because I think it's very cathartic to hear someone speak and have a story that resonates with you, and you can kind of see yourself in that person, and also be inspired to, first of all, know you're not alone, and second of all, to maybe have some inspiration on how they move forward and being able to apply it for yourself in some way. Also needing a little marketing assistance as well. So looking to collaborate with someone who may be able to help in some of those ways.
Okay, thank you. All right, girl. Okay, and I'm going to toss mine out here too. Now, I'm working on the 1 Million Women Link Up. So I am looking for women like you to be a part of this movement. I mean, women who could become my co-marketing partner, cross-marketing partner, whatever, who can help me spread the word of that women should be teaming up together. I have projects like this and more in the works that you can embed your business DNA into. And I will be sharing more information about that in the comments section on the event page, okay? And if you haven't done so yet, please start answering those questions so we can reach out to you. Okay, Miss Sharon, what are you working on right now that you could use some collaborative marketing muscle to move the needle on?
So I guess the one thing that I really could use some help on is getting the word out about the 365 daily work post, because I really want it to be something that it's a give. So I kept it affordable to be able to have women to participate. It is a collaborative book, but it's one of those where I feel like when we share our experiences, we're helping other women get through those pieces. So it's just getting the word out for that. I'm always looking for people to write articles for the magazine. I allow, the first article to be complimentary. And then I'm always looking for just, book authors that if they have a book, because I like to showcase their books. So just pretty much just sharing that, if you, see something come across, let's connect on LinkedIn. And if you see something across, share it with your audience as well.
Okay, excellent. Natalie, what are you looking for? Some collaborative marketing muscle to get your projects over the finish line. So what are you working on?
So, okay, as it's going to track for sounding weird, but this is specifically what I need. Somebody with a brain who likes to think about business structures and how a creative would make sure that they were benefiting like a million times with like taxes and finances. And again, I'm a bass player saying this, but I really am looking for somebody who's like very business savvy, but in like a rebel punk rock kind of way. and is willing to like talk and think and like a little bit outside the box, so that maybe I could find like a system within, my area first, the world eventually, but just like in my area, there are creative women, they are struggling. Is there a way that they could possibly embrace their creativity in a business sense that would benefit them in other aspects of their life. Like, I don't know, can I make my house, so stuff like that. Sorry.
I get that. Yes. Like we had the conversation yesterday about, renting out your house to someone who is
kind of film.
a movie.
Yeah, and you rent it out to a bunch of women who are trying to make a movie, and you give them a break because it's not going to be the same price as a regular set. And it's like those connections of, hey, like, you're trying your best. Here's my house. Give me $50. I'm going to take that $50, take my family to a park for the day. Like, how do I make like those energy loops kind of work within our lives? So it's easier. And I'm looking for somebody to bounce off of.
Get this. Okay, this does sound kind of interesting. Okay, so basically, you need someone who can help you figure out how your ladies can monetize what they're doing. I'm thinking that's what you're saying, roundabout.
Yes, but not in a way that it will feed the system that makes them unhappy.
Okay.
To be clear.
Okay, a fun way. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Very good. Okay, Linda, what are you working on, girl, that you can use some collaborative marketing muscle on?
Absolutely. So my goal is to help businesses get seen, get heard. And so I need some guests. If you have an idea and you would like to put it front and center in front of a new audience, I would love to cross market with you. And we share audiences. Very plain, very simple. And you can get that information from me by following my page or by come on over where I am now in StreamYard and join me.
Okay. I love that. Oh, Ida, let's see. Did I get you up here? Ida, hi. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing great. Okay, well, you're here for that last question there. Ida, what are you working on, girl, that you can use some collaborative marketing muscle on?
I've got several things I'm working on that I could use some collaborative muscle on. So Thank you so much, Geraldine, for this. I have a TV channel that I am looking for creators to be a part of. And basically it's about, the channel is called Conversations That Matter. I'm a podcaster, so I repurpose a lot of my interviews for that channel. The channel airs on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple. And I'm looking for people who would be interested to be on that platform and reach audiences that they may not necessarily touch.
Okay. All right. Now, is there a fee for this?
Yes, there's a fee. So I'm offering an introductory price for the first 10 creators that say yes. Mm-hmm. And then we can go from there. I'm basically people that podcasters already have content. So I don't want people that have to work to make it happen for them. But if you already,
people.
Well, if you already have create stuff, I've got over 500 interviews. So in any one time. So I'm looking for people that already have content because I don't want to create work for you. And then we'll edit it to repurpose it for TV.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right. Audience, thank you so much for hanging out with us through all the craziness. I hope you have enjoyed listening to the ladies and that you will answer those questions on the event page. But if you would like to come hang out with us and talk with us and let us know, what you're working on and maybe get some ideas on how to, build a tribe around it, come hang out with us. I have the link to the Google Meet. It's on the event page. It's in the comments section. Just go grab it, click on it, and come on in and hang out with us, okay? Because now we're going to talk about how we can take these ideas that we all have and merge them somehow and just build our audience on LinkedIn. Okay. Thank you. And thank you, panel. Your stories were great. And thank you, Linda, for live streaming this.
You are welcome. This has been an experience.
And you can let the listening audience out there, or the watching audience, whatever, know that. Can you take that link, Linda, and put it in those feeds so if they want to come on in and
Absolutely.
hang out with us and talk about their business?
Absolutely.
Project?
I shook hands.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had some people in the audience that are reaching out, and I've given them all the opportunity to come join me on StreamYard. So I'll put that link of how to join me in just a minute.
Perfect. Because y'all, it's going to take a village for us to really build our businesses. And LinkedIn is a gold mine. So let's just find a way to cross-pollinate our audiences this month and next month and so on and so on. We can all rise to the top together.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.